What's up, guys? So have you ever walked inside of a pharmacy into the cough and cold section and looked at Advil and you looked at ibuprofen and you're like, wait, Advil costs like $2 more than ibuprofen. What's the difference? It says on the back of the label, it says ibuprofen. Like, should I get the expensive one or should I get the cheaper one? Or maybe your doctor prescribes you a medication like Synthroid, and then when you fill at the pharmacy, you get levothyroxine. Wait, are these the same? What's the differences? My doctor said it's the same, the pharmacist said it's the same, but why do they have different names? So stay tuned and find out what it is. Alright, so brand versus generic drugs or medications. What's the differences and what you should know about them, and what if you should buy the generic or if you should buy the brand. So really quick, we're going to go through a brief history of how drugs are made. So a drug company or a pharmaceutical company hires researchers, doctors, and they do all these clinical trials to make and approve a drug through the FDA. And when they make the drug, they give it a generic name, and then the company also puts a brand name on a drug. And some drugs, relatively new ones who are still under a patent, are only allowed to be sold as the brand name. So that's why some drugs are known, like Advil. When it was under the patent, it was only sold as Advil. But when the patent expires, then drugs go into generic, and generic companies start making the drug at a much more cost-effective price. So whenever the patent expires, now generic companies are able to make the drug. However, the FDA puts restrictions and requirements on the generic company to make the drug work the same way, work as fast as it should, so you should get it to your body the same rate or the same way as the brand name drug, and overall have the same effect. So there is no clinical difference between a generic and brand name drug. However, a lot of times I've seen it, I've heard it, and people always I want brand only. I want brand only, I don't want the generic. But like, why? You're paying more and it's basically the same thing. It's why would you pay more for a brand name when there's a much cheaper generic available? There are a couple of reasons why I've heard and I've seen people wanting brand names. The first reason is they just prefer that tablet side of the color. They're familiar with it. So a generic drug and a brand name drug might work the same, will have different pill sizes, different pill colors, different pill shapes. So some people are just more attached to their brand name drug. A more clinical reason why, although they are clinically equivalent, is that brand name drugs and generic drugs sometimes have different inactive ingredients. So there's an active ingredient and an inactive ingredient. So I'm confused. What? Like, there's more than one ingredient in my tablet I'm getting on my pill? Yes and no. So the active ingredient is what the therapeutic effect is happening, or what the drug is helping. So with Advil, it's ibuprofen, and ibuprofen is what helping you with your inflammation or your pain, etc. But there's inactive ingredients. So when a tablet is made, it's not just ibuprofen, and there's other components inside the tablet that make it a tablet itself. One of the more clinical reasons why somebody would want a brand name drug instead of a generic drug, even though it's at a higher price, is because of the inactive ingredients. So they might have sensitivity, allergies, or some sort of adverse reactions they get when taking the generic drug, so they want the brand name drug. Even though it's at a higher price, it's to them they can't tolerate the generic drug. But these are more on the rare side of cases. Generally, whenever you go to a pharmacy and your doctor prescribes you a brand name drug, we always first give the generic unless the patient asks for a brand, or sometimes the doctors on the prescription pad will write brand only. But other than that, we always default to generic because generics do work the same as brand name drugs. So whenever you walk into the pharmacy and then you go to the over-the-counter section and you see an Advil and an ibuprofen, the generic ibuprofen is like $4, but the brand name Advil is like $8. You're like, wait, which one should I get? If you have no prior history of preferring brand name drugs, I would always go with the cheaper one. One, because you want to save money. Like, you don't want to pay double the price or a premium price for something that will work the same. And just to recap, it's more of the inactive ingredients that some patients are sensitive to. Those are real reasons why you would want a brand name drug. Other than that, generally they work the same, but always consult your doctor or pharmacist before making that decision. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys learned something. If you have any other comments or questions, please leave it in the comment section below. Also, if you'll be interested in me doing more in-depth videos, then please let me know in the comment section as well.